The 2026 Heritage Classic has officially been announced for Winnipeg versus Montreal. The game will take place next season in October, so while we do have a long time to wait for it, I still do think it would be kind of a fun video to try to figure out what jerseys they could be wearing. And we're going to start off by talking about the Montreal Canadiens. This will be the Canadiens' third Heritage Classic game of all time. They took part in the first one way back in 2003, and they had one in 2011 in Calgary. Now, the jerseys that they wore for both of those games are basically just their home and away jersey, and it makes sense because Montreal is one of those teams that really hasn't changed their look ever. So this makes it a little more difficult as to what jersey we could see from the Canadiens. Because again, this is a franchise that doesn't stray too far from their iconic look. Obviously, outside of the reverse retro program and the 100-year classic game that they had against the Ottawa Senators, we really haven't gotten a ton of specialty jerseys from the Canadiens. And it feels like the recent trend of the NHL outdoor games is teams kind of creating faux-back style jerseys. We obviously saw it with the most recent Heritage Classic with the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames, using jerseys not necessarily tied to those franchises, but tied to the city's roots and their history, obviously playing into the heritage part of the Heritage Classic. So I'm wondering if we could see something similar like that for the Canadiens. And that's honestly kind of where I want them to go, but at the same time, I genuinely don't see them doing anything different. Again, looking at the two previous Heritage Classic games that they were in, the only thing that really changed was the collar. That was pretty much it. Now, they did make that appearance in the Winter Classic against Boston, and that jersey that they used was a beautiful jersey. I would argue that that jersey is near the top in terms of Winter Classic jerseys, so maybe we get something kind of similar to that. Regardless of what it may be, I am excited to see which avenue the Montreal Canadiens pick with this. Do they go down the faux-back style jersey, or do they simply just pull their traditional white jersey and wear that for the game? On the other side, you have the Winnipeg Jets. This will also be the Jets' third Heritage Classic game. Obviously, the jerseys that they wore in both of those Heritage Classic games have been some of the best NHL jerseys of all time, in my opinion. You obviously had the original white version that they wore in that game against the Edmonton Oilers, and then they brought that same style back, but this time in blue. And both of those jerseys are absolutely gorgeous. But now that they have used both of those jerseys, which avenue do the Winnipeg Jets go down? Do they go down the faux-back style, or do they try to pull from their history and possibly giving us the 90s Winnipeg Jets look? Perhaps it's something similar to what we saw with the Reverse Retro 1.0 or the Reverse Retro 2.0. And I talked about how excited I was to see which avenue the Montreal Canadiens were going to go down. I'm kind of more excited to see which avenue the Jets go down, because this isn't a franchise that has the amount of history to pull from like Montreal does. Now, we did get that baby blue jersey that the Jets wore for, I think, only 1 or 2 seasons. Maybe that is an avenue that they go down, is trying to do something similar to that jersey. Again, I know that this game is next season, so we have obviously a very long time to eventually get to that point, but I did just want to make this video because I'm genuinely curious. The more I sat here and thought about it, I got more and more curious as to which jerseys these teams are going to pick for this game. Because again, on one side you have the Montreal Canadiens, a team that is beyond historic and a team that rarely ever changes their look. And then you have the Winnipeg Jets on the other side, which we've already seen them use 2 of their throwback heritage style jerseys. And with not much else to really pick from, which avenue do the Jets go down? So this is where I want to hear from you guys. Let me know down below in the comments what you think the Montreal Canadiens and the Winnipeg Jets should do for their Heritage Classic jerseys next season. Let me know which jerseys you would like to see them bring back. So with all that said and done, that is going to do it for this video here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. If you really enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. And also don't forget, if you enjoyed this video a lot and you want to see more content from me, then I strongly suggest swinging by our bio, clicking the Linktree link. That'll take you to all of the social media platforms that we are on. I am most active over on Instagram. That is where this entire thing started. So I am more active over on Instagram, but I am starting to be a little more active over on X. So if you want more jersey content from me, again, go check out the bio. That is the only link in bio for a reason. So again, that is going to do it for this video here. If you have made it to this point of the video, I want to say thank you very, very much for taking the time out of your busy day. It genuinely means the world to me if you have sat down and watched even a second of one of my videos. And as always, stay tuned for more jersey content coming in the future. We'll see you next time.